And we're live.
And we're live. Welcome to Bisexual Locker Room Talk. I'm your host, Brian, and to my stage right is Adam. Welcome. Well, everybody, if you're watching, it's YouTube or Facebook. You like, subscribe, and then if you're listening, it's a podcast. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Sorry about that. I have a little,
Just became a man.
I did. They just dropped finally. 50 years old. My testicles just finally dropped. And yeah, here we are. We have no guest today, which sometimes is, sometimes it is how it is. So we're gonna try and pay attention more to the people that are in the room, and we'll just have a little chat. And we have
reconnect.
We have lots of stuff to get to today.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to unpack.
Oh, yeah.
I watch these. I watch a lot of political videos. This guy David Pakman, there's the Midas Touch, a bunch of these. I like to see what the libtards are up to.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's one guy and I like the show. I don't remember what it's called. It's called Pondering Politics, actually. Yeah, I just remember.
Oh, wow, I didn't know you were.
I started
into that kind of material.
I started off with some Trump stuff, and then it just got into and this is another word that is really overused, the algorithm. I don't think people even know what the fucking algorithm is, but people just like saying it because it sounds smart.
Sure.
Yes. So, irregardless, I got into the algorithm, and
it's like a fancy way of saying recommendation.
Exactly.
It's like the technical.
Yes.
Really term for it, kind of.
Yeah. I want to unpack at the end of the day, the algorithm,
the proprietary algorithm.
Yeah. So it started putting all of these various kind of political shows in my thing. So I watched them here. Some of them are really good. Some of them I don't have any, it has to be like 8 minutes, 9 minutes. I can't really sit there for a while. There's that. And then they take, there's another thing that is on YouTube for me a lot they take these diaries of German World War II soldiers, officers, or infantry guys, or guys that are in the SS or just in the regular Wehrmacht, and they some sort of weird computer voice reads it over, like reads their diary. They obviously read it in English, and that's nice to go to sleep to. They're like, it is October 1943. We are steaming through Prussia. Right. What can go wrong? And then like a year later, they're like, we have just eaten the last of our horses, and the Russians are surrounding us. And tomorrow I will cut my foot off for Frostenbite. That's how you say frostbite in German. Frostenbiten.
Frostenbiten.
Yeah. Anyway, but there's one guy that I watch, and he always goes, we have a lot to unpack. And I'm always like, oh, sure, don't say that. Yeah. It's annoying to me. Also, and I feel like I mentioned this in the past, but a lot of these guys, you don't have to wear like a coat and tie, but there's something seeing like a balding guy who's probably about my age in like a hooded sweatshirt. Like, I know that you went to, you're probably very, very well educated, but it's like, you got to dress.
I get it. You used to write speeches for Obama.
Yeah, we get it.
Now but you know how to unwind. You know how to be casual.
There's working from home, and then there's working from home, and it's like, I'd almost rather see you in a bathrobe. Like if you're gonna really, but it's just when you see those two strings in front on your hooded sweatshirt, that I don't know, for some reason I find that distracting. So anyway, but welcome to the show. Have you? I don't want to get into some Oscar talk, but have you seen? I know, right? It's stupid. Have you seen Mastro yet?
I have not. No, I've heard of this Mastro.
With Bradley Cooper.
That's on
Netflix.
Did we talk about that last week?
We may have.
I think
who knows?
Myself and the guest had no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
I think that's my knowledge of Mastro. Maestro?
Mastro or Maestro?
Oh, like the steakhouse, like Mastro.
Mastro is the steakhouse. Maestro, I believe it is
butter. Order the butter cake.
Butter cake is what they have. Oh, now I'm starving.
Right. That stuff is delicious.
It really is delicious.
But you're so full by the time it comes.
Steakhouse desserts are inevitably they're good, but they're way too big because they want to charge you like $25.
Yeah.
So. Right. They come out like I remember when I was in Dallas recently. I can sort of tag something on the end of that. But when I was in Dallas, I was sitting at the bar at this famous steakhouse called Papa's, Pappas. Apparently, some family they have like 1 million steakhouses in.
Well, you said it's a Greek fella,
a Greek family
is like a very
Papas don't preach,
right? Tom Papas,
Try the baklava ribeye. Baklava ribeye. We take our ribeye and rub it in walnuts and honey.
The cream spanakopita.
Yeah, exactly. All of our waiters are wearing tuxedos and togas. So come have the Socratic method. But when I was sitting at the bar, I wanted to have a little dessert, and I asked the guy. I was like, how big is the $21 carrot cake slice? And he was like, oh, it can feed 5 people.
It's a slab.
Yeah, it's a slab of carrot cake.
Yeah.
I was gonna eat it by myself.
It's a right angle.
Yeah, they put a sparkler in it, bring it out. So you're the alcoholic, huh? You're the guy having an iced tea at the bar by himself.
Yeah,
talking about Ozempic.
Definitely got the big book.
Yeah, trying to get free passes to a strip club. You lonely bag of meat. But anyway, so the trip to if you remember when I went to Dallas. For those 5 days. Yeah, 5 days.
5 wonderful days.
5 glorious days. Shout out to the Marriott in Plano, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And
one of the best.
It's really, I'm telling you, when they had a waffle that was shaped like Texas. I mean, come on.
Did they really?
Yep. I put it on. Shit. You can find that picture on Brian M. Show on Instagram.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, they covered it with blueberries and and raspberries.
Shape of Texas.
Shape of Texas. So, but anyway,
and the size of Rhode Island.
It was a pretty big. I always like it when you go to, because they have like that free continental breakfast, but I always find that kind of gross. So I always feel like a Hollywood millionaire when I sit down and they go, well, I go, no, please bring me a menu.
I'm off menu.
Yeah, bring me a menu. I'm a Hilton or I'm a Bonvoy rewards member. Could I just get the right? I wonder if I could pick my state. I was like, could I have this like Hawaii? It's just a bunch of little islands of waffle. You know, they're like, that'll take us 40.
The mainland.
Yeah, they go to the chef. They're like, we got to cut this one into pieces of Hawaii. Why can't anybody ever just have Nebraska? It's a square. It's easy to do.
Wyoming.
Yeah, right. One of those middle states that doesn't have any real borders.
Yeah.
I mean, we did Oklahoma and we didn't do that long, thin thing. And God, the Helm office almost fired us.
Yeah.
They're like, guys, we're either doing this or we're not. Give us the panhandle. But so when I was in Texas, I was going to see that cousin of mine, Kevin.
That son of a bitch.
That motherfucker. That motherless cunt. Yeah. So I was Kevin. Oh my God. I know. Well, listen. I mean, we can unpack this. But I got in on the 29th. I told the guy 2 days before. The last text message to Kevin, because I read the text message. I was like, well, maybe it's on me. The text message was like 2 text messages. The first one was like, hey, great. I just talked to the guy on the phone. Great catching up with you. I'll be in Texas with my daughter. I have nothing going on. Mm-hmm. So I understand if you have your own stuff going on, but I've got nothing. So look forward to I will let you know when I have my travel arrangements straightened out. So then the next text message was, hey, I'm getting in on the 29th. And this is when I'm flying in. I'm staying at this hotel. Look forward to hearing from you. That's it. Yeah. And we had left it where he said on New Year's Day, he said, if anything, he goes on New Year's Day, we can watch football, which, spoiler alert, that's going to be fun for me, but I would be polite. And I'd be like, wow, did they ever take their helmets off so you can see what they look like? God, run. I feel like they don't even play. They just stand around a lot and talk to each other. Yeah. Can you hear are their helmets mic'd? So anyway, so then the 29, 30, 31, those days, and I'm like, am I going to hear from this cousin of mine? Right. I don't want to send the guy a third.
Kevin?
Where's Kevin? He's
like Home Alone.
If I could have opened the window in my Marriott, which you can't, because I think people would kill themselves in that hotel. If you could open the window, I'm like, I'm on the 7th floor. Would I die or just, oh my God. Then I would just become paralyzed and have to live in Plano.
Land on the valet.
Yeah. Mr. McCarthy. Sorry, I had that Texas-shaped waffle and it just went right to my head. Yeah. Is there booze in this maple syrup? Yeah, it's just rum, sir. Anyway, so I go and so then we got all the way through, and then on the 1st, I get a text message from him. I know I went over this already, and on the text message said, hey, you can come over later today if you want, which is probably the least hospitable way It could have,
if you want.
No,
not like we'll play bocce ball,
or
no activity.
Or
just
I'll pick you up.
I'll pick you up. Just,
you
listen, may come.
I know
to
it's
where
not.
I am.
Yes, it's not all about me, but I don't have a car. I do have, even though I am very creative with getting around town, I don't. Vision's not great. And I looked it up on. I was less than 6 miles from his home.
Oh wow!
So
yeah, I would argue that almost no invitation would be better than that.
That's how I took it as.
Yeah.
So I sent him a message. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically saying I don't want you. I don't want you to come over, but I'm fulfilling my obligation of reaching out.
Yeah, just tell me to fuck off and save us all the trouble. Really, I mean, listen. Yeah. I felt obligated to see you. You clearly. I mean, I have such a desperate need to be liked that, I would have been, if it was me, I would have felt like I got to pick this guy up at the airport. I would have come on if I was, again, Kevin clearly doesn't share my proclivities towards hospitality, but I would have come on really hot in the beginning. I would have been like, hey, listen, I would have prefaced everything by saying, I got a super busy weekend, which, by the way, it's a holiday weekend. Nobody's busy around unless you're out of town. That's, nobody's like.
We established he has children or not?
Yeah, but they're like older. They're like.
I'm just wondering if he has them.
Yes.
Interjecting any kind of opinion here.
He has 2 boys.
2 boys. Okay, and they're older, so there's no soccer practice, karate.
No one's
cutting up orange slices and putting them in buckets.
Yeah, there's
nothing like that.
As a matter of fact, when he and I spoke on the phone. Because if you remember, I was making fun of him on the show, never to this guy's face because he won't be in the same room as me. But about he was saying he has a ranch, and I would hear from his brothers and his sister, Kevin has a ranch, and actually, it's funny when I believe I was at Papa's, and I was talking to the bartender. And I was kind of ragging on Kevin. This is before I knew he was going to completely blow me off. At this point, he had kind of half blown me off, but it was fine. I mean, it was the 30th. So, and I said to the bartender, I was like, am I crazy? Or is 100 acres to call it a ranch? Is that a little disingenuous? And he goes, are there working cattle on the ranch? I said, I don't think so.
So this guy had already formed an opinion.
He was already apparently there's a definition of a ranch. It's like if you
let's look it up in a second.
Okay, we'll look it up. Well, at least according to the bartender at the best steakhouse in Dallas.
Sure.
He was, we would chat for a while, and I was like, am I nuts for like kind of shitting on this guy because he keeps talking about, I hear about this ranch. And he goes, well, are there working, like, I don't know, long steers and shit like that, or whatever you call them, cows. And I was like, I don't think so. And he goes, well, then no. He goes, it's just a big piece of land.
Right.
Which I understand. You can't say to somebody, hey, do you want to come to my big piece of land? Maybe it is a shortcut, but I still maintain that a real Texan
would. Let's let Merriam-Webster handle this.
We are Kevin.
A large farm, especially in the western U.S. and Canada, where cattle or other animals are bred and raised.
Thank you. Well, and again, I was never invited to tour said ranch, but I think it's just a big piece of land that he's put some, I don't know, there's some buildings on there and an ATV, and I think you can shoot bales of hay. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty like shit kickery, but I think to show it, I'm trying to think of the analogy. It's kind of like if somebody who is in education calls himself a doctor, Okay. And you're like, you're a doctor of what?
A PhD,
yes.
But
I'm a doctor of anthropology. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
If they call for a doctor on an airplane, you're not raising your hand.
Better not get up. Yeah. There better be a chiropractor before that. They get all the way down to chiropractor, and then
and masseuse.
I told you the time I was on a flight, right? And the chiropractor is sitting next to me.
Sounds familiar.
I'll wrap. I'll come. I know, because hey, whoever that guy was, guess what? I'm gonna tell you the same story again. Hooray!
I don't recall it.
Okay,
though.
Well, I'll take that.
That's a good litmus test.
Okay, good. So anyway, the Kevin thing. So we get down to the 1st of January, and I get this message, and he's like, "Hey, you can come over if you want." And he had mentioned to me that on New Year's Eve night, he had already said when we talked on the 28th that he was like, listen, my wife and I see friends on the night of New Year's Eve, which I'm like,
okay.
So, which again, I would have been obligated to be like, oh, I've got this cousin of mine who I never see.
Yeah,
and
but bring him along.
Yeah, just bring him along. Who cares? What are we all gonna like fuck each other in front of this guy? Like, who gives a shit?
Hope so.
Which, by the way,
he's not complaining.
You do that, I'll call it a ranch all day long.
Right. You walk into a key party. Yeah, I call it whatever.
Yeah, what do you call it? You want to call this a key party ranch or whatever? I'll put my keys right in the ceramic ashtray that looks like a cow's foot.
This thing's a nature preserve.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's make some babies in these old ladies.
Forget my dick wet.
Yeah, exactly. There's some marshlands on this ranch. Right. Marsh is full of cum. Anyway,
now it is.
So now I sent the guy. So I sent Kevin a text message, and I was like, "Look, I've been in town since the 29th. I made other plans, and that was it. I was very annoyed, and I was also, I was embarrassed, annoyed, whatever."
Did he respond? I forget.
Yes, his response was, "Have a nice day."
Okay.
So the whole thing.
Just K.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be the worst.
Yeah, he responded. It was an emoji of a ranch.
Have a nice. Oh, right. You're like, God damn, they have an emoji for everything.
Wow. I wonder if he ordered this special.
Right.
Don't you have to prove you have a ranch before you can put this emoji on?
Bespoke emoji.
Yeah. It's like, you better have a big dick if you're sending me an eggplant. So that was it. So then, of course, and then that same day, either I called my mother, or my mother called me, and my mother famously will take anyone's side as long as it's not my side. So, well, maybe he wasn't. And I told my mom.
Great parenting.
Oh, on the 28th or whatever, I told her, I'd said, hey, listen, she asked me, you're going to see Kevin in Plano. It's a pretty standard question. Are you going to see your cousin who you're going to be in the, you've never been in that part of the country ever. You're going to be in the exact same suburb the guy lives in.
Right.
Are you going to see him? Well, yeah, I think so. We're going to, at the very least, I'll see him on the 1st, I guess.
Not in Fort Worth.
Yeah, no, this isn't, because I understand it's a big state, a lot of ranches.
Oh, yeah.
And big
lousy with them.
Yeah, and big backyards. So my mom goes, well, maybe he wasn't in town. And then I was like, yeah, he's mom. And I just hung up. So, and we haven't spoken since. So there's that.
Okay.
So anyway, so I ran the guy down, Kevin, and then I sort of I sort of did a general survey with people in my life. I was like, am I crazy? They were like, no, that's incredibly rude and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, and again, whatever, that's fine. I don't really care one way or another, but it is just kind of funny to go out of your way to be like, hey, fuck you. So okay. Yeah. So then a couple days ago, I'm home and I get a call from Kevin.
No.
Oh yes. But
Kevin comes crawling back.
Well, here's what I think happened, because spoiler alert, I didn't take the call.
Okay.
No. I'm not talking to him. I mean,
I'm not listening to you grovel.
Well,
Kevin,
I would imagine, I don't even know what he would say. Because I am very close.
Well, he could apologize. Not to be like, oh, your mom about this, but
yes. And which, by the way,
nice
would be even more embarrassing. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, you know what I mean?
It wouldn't make it feel a little better.
No, because like, look, you drew your line in the sand. Just stand behind it. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody,
because really you would need to have included an apology in the text message and just go, dude, I'm so sorry. I was on heroin. I'm in Tijuana.
Yeah, I'm having a time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Cindy and I are on the way. I'm going to lose the ranch.
Sure.
The bank is taking the ranch.
The bank's taking the ranch.
Right. Yes. My last Longhorn just was taken out of,
Right. I hit on 16.
Yeah. What's left? My belt buckles?
Right.
Yeah. So, he's in bed with the mattress guy, or the pillow guy, the My Pillow guy.
Oh, Jesus.
I've lost it all.
Mike Lindell.
Yeah, Mike Lindell and I.
Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say what I was about to say.
Yeah,
He's
from that same part of the country, right? He's from your hometown.
He's from around where I'm from.
Yeah, he is broke as a joke now. What a fucking moron.
Really? He's out? He's down and out? Mike Lindell.
The guy's getting sued left. I think, yeah. I mean, he's selling. The last night, because I do watch those political things, and
he got wrapped up in the whatever that lawsuit thing was.
Yeah, he went
with the vote counters.
Yeah, and again, now we're not talking politics, so everybody. Although I can't imagine you don't feel the way I do, but that's just maybe because I've been indoctrinated by the Jewish media. But
sure,
the liberal, the libtards.
We got the woke mind virus.
Yeah, exactly.
The two of us that Bill Maher's always talking about.
You're born a man, you're a man. That's it. You don't just put a skirt on and go to the bathroom in Target, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to buy you posies. Anyway, but no, this Mike Lindell guy, the Pello guy, like he's on these shows and he's like, I've got to sell all my trucks. So he really
dune buggies.
Yeah. And because I do think with the whole Trump thing, there are people that cynically, like, they don't really believe in any of this bullshit, but they're going along with it because they like the lower taxes and they're just like, they're doing that, or there's a very small minority of people. And I think Mike Lindell, for whatever reason, is one of them, who's like, Hillary Clinton was diddling 12-year-old boys underneath a pizza place. And pizza, like, what?
Yeah, that shit is wild.
It is wild.
If you ever get a chance, watch the documentary on the QAnon people.
I will.
And like 8chan, and it's fucking wild. Like 2 goofballs in like Singapore caused that
and it's still going on. Like it's still like a thing out there. But again,
just puppeteering the
and cracking up about it.
I mean, they're like evil fucking geniuses.
Okay, well, I will watch them.
I forget where it's like, might be like a Vice thing or something. But and I couldn't even tell you what it's called, but it's fucking great.
By the way, and I know we're all over the map here, but okay, let me just finish with Kevin. So anyway, Kevin, what I think happened was, like, Kevin's brother Rob, who is very cool. He's older than Kevin. And Rob and I growing up, I always was like, Rob was like in a band, and he was a very cool guy, and he lives in DC, and he's
car at T-Tops.
He was like a punk rocker. I mean,
he was a punk.
Oh, yeah. He was the one that he didn't get tattooed. I probably have some tattoos, but
family photos, he'd always be like,
yeah, pretty much.
He was like the Johnny Rotten of the McCarthy family.
He would, these are other side, but yeah, I remember about 20 years ago, I was in DC visiting with my then girlfriend, and he got branded. Like, you can get,
shit,
right. So he has like this checkerboard thing, like all over the side. Yeah, he's pretty hardcore.
He's in like the ska gang.
Oh yeah, he was like,
he's a rude boy.
He was, yeah. Rob walked the walk. So,
oh shit.
And I remember when I was a kid, he gave me my, we'd always do like a Secret Santa thing, for Christmas. So he gave me a General Public CD. Remember General Public?
It sounds familiar.
I know we're getting kicked off YouTube here, but so hot, you're hot, trying up, you're so hot. That's their big song. It really is. We can't play it.
I feel like I'm transported.
Yeah,
it's like play like a teeny weeny bit.
All right, find it, please.
General Public,
ladies and gentlemen, it's a little General Public here. We're closing at the end of the 1st January.
What's the song called?
It's
probably just at the top of
it. Better be called so hot, you're hot.
Tenderness, never.
It's called
hot. You're hot. You're cool.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
No, it's called End Apartheid. Yeah,
that's all.
Okay,
play.
That's it.
Probably.
So it's like ska based. I don't know.
Yeah, fun.
They're beautiful boys.
Yeah, they are.
But anyway, so Rob gave me one year. He gave me like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. 1 year, I can't believe I remember all this stuff. 1 year he gave me the I Ching. Remember, you know what that is? It's like that. It's that Oriental magic. It's Oriental magic. That's my safe word for S&M. Sure. Oriental magic. Take it out. Oriental magic. It's too deep. God damn it! It's too deep. Right. Tom, pull it out. Oriental magic. I can taste it in the back of my throat.
Yeah.
Tom, Jesus. Then you have to have a talk with the guy. You're like, why do we even have a safe word if when I say Oriental magic, you don't pull it out?
Right.
I am going to be shitting blood for a week, and you don't give a fuck. Anyway, so Rob lives in DC, but his wife is from New York. And I talked to Rob, I walked the dogs. I talked to Rob, and I had spoken to Rob Rob knew I was going to to Texas, and I thought I'd be
in Plano.
I thought I'd see Kevin on his ranch. And I think, and so I think Rob, maybe only thing I can think of is Rob is Kevin's older brother. And I think Rob probably said to Kevin, like, hey, and again, this is not rooted in anything other than my hypothesis or whatever, but I don't know.
Speculate.
I'm speculating. Exactly. Better not be, although I did, who is it?
Just a text.
Doesn't matter. If anybody,
A number that is not in your
doesn't
phone.
matter. Sorry, everybody. But anyway, I think that because Rob's the older brother, Rob may have called Kevin and been like, Jesus Christ, Brian was you fucking 5 miles away and you couldn't carve out 2 hours in 5 days to see the guy. Like, Jesus Christ, like blah, blah. You really, how handsome he is?
At least go, I'll meet you at the hotel bar at your place. That's my move. If I'm like real tight on time, I go, what hotel you at? I'll meet you there.
Yep.
We'll have a margarita.
I'm parked at a hydrant.
Yes.
My
car's running.
Yeah. Listen, it's full of groceries. It's full of ice cream. Yes. My car is full of melting ice cream. Yeah. Everything is right. That's it. I have shelter dogs and melting ice cream, and I'm parked at a hydrant. And my pregnant wife is in the car, and she's 10 months pregnant. She's actually dilating. Baby's probably already been born, but it's okay. Right. I'll have a mojito.
Just so much different manner of urgency.
So you don't drink? What's up with you, bro? Oh shit! Right. Listen, I got to go, man. I'm having all of my cows hooved or whatever.
Right.
Do they put shoes on cows? They put shoes on horses. They shoot horses.
Yeah,
they
shoot horses. Yeah, I don't know about cows.
I don't think so.
I think cows are running around bare hooves.
I don't think they probably run around very much
because they're mostly on grass, right?
I don't think they move around. I don't think cows gallop.
Do they even lay down to sleep? I don't think they can get back up.
I think they probably lay down to sleep. I don't know. Giraffes lay down. So if a giraffe lays down,
that's fucking. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
That's where they do like a crazy split.
Yeah, it's like origami.
That shit is fucking wild.
No, it's very wild.
Occasionally I'll watch nature shows. Like, you ever watch like Netflix nature
I'm gonna
shows?
give you I'm gonna Google this just for the image.
Sure. I'm just writing the quick note.
Sorry. Google Santa Barbara bent neck giraffe.
Okay.
It's dead now, but I saw it.
Sex move.
There's a really
Santa Barbara hello.
There's a really
Santa Barbara
bent neck giraffe. There's a really beautiful little zoo in the middle of Santa Barbara, and for years and years they had a giraffe, and its fucking neck was like way bent. And
oh shit,
you see it, right?
Holy shit, it's like a fucking. It's 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's a bent neck. Hey,
Jesus Christ.
They really. I heard they did it themselves to get more people to go to the zoo. They're like, listen, we got a new giraffe in.
Right.
Here's an idea. Why don't we hit it in the head? Lady. We're going to break its neck and pull it down with like a crane, and we're just going to set it that way.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's like.
Yep. It died a while ago, but before it died, I saw it. I seen it myself.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Right.
So anyway, what I think may have happened is I think Rob got a hold of Kevin or something like that. And Kevin called me to basically be like, either number one, how dare you not refer to my ranch as a ranch? Number two, who the fuck
probably caught wind of your
he could have like
condescended.
If you called it like, and again, if you called this shit on me, that would have
condescended his ranch.
Whatever it was, I didn't want to hear any of it. So I just blocked him. And so that's what happened. So that's sort of the end of that story.
Wow. So he called, you didn't pick up, and I'm guessing he did not leave a voicemail?
No voicemail. So now you can say to Rob, not that, look, Kevin clearly doesn't give a shit at all anyway, which good for him. And it's funny because I think I did tell you that his dad did not like me ever. Okay. My Uncle Bob. So maybe that's like, maybe he's just carrying the flame. He's like, my dad always thought you were a piece of shit.
It's tradition.
Yeah. So maybe he's
just all they had was not liking you.
And again, I feel it's the only thing they could talk about. One day I'm going to have a ranch. No, you're not. You're going to have a big yard. Now come over here and give your uncle a foot rub, or your dad. I guess it would be his dad, not his uncle. It'd be my uncle, his dad. Okay.
Your father, Bob.
My father, yeah. Oh God, he would glower at me. He would like Uncle Bob.
Really?
Bob. You know what? There are a lot of this is very self-serving, but a lot of people, and again, sorry to do this, but a lot of people think I'm funny. Okay, that's good. And I try to be funny. And I try to be funny, and I like to be funny because when people are laughing, it makes me feel good. So it is sort of a self-serving thing. Right. But in that, like if you took 100 people in a room, I like to think, let's put the number at 82 people think I'm really funny. 10 people maybe are like, okay, I get why they're laughing. 4 of those people want to fucking kill me. For something they think they don't get it. They're like,
call
they think
them Uncle Bob.
Like the woman that worked at Equinox. Like she was one of those 4. Like Liz from Equinox was like, what are you saying? Taking taking your temperature. What does that even mean? What?
Yeah.
Putting a fucking thermometer up your ass? Fuck that guy. No, you could take a personal day. Go home.
Sure.
I'm calling Mr. Equinox. And I think Uncle Bob was the same way. Uncle Bob, I remember my grandmother's funeral at the wake afterwards. Catholics have wakes. I remember I was with some people and I was making everyone laugh or something, doing some sort of maybe I was pulling quarters out of ears. I don't know what I was doing.
Parlor tricks.
Some sort of ribald joke, perhaps. A Scotsman and an Irishman are marooned on a desert island.
Right.
And then I walked away from that group and my Uncle Bob motioned for me over and I was like, yeah, I knew that he didn't,
it wasn't going to be
like
good.
me. I just know that, but I remember, and he was like, I don't understand. He's like, why are people always laughing when you're around? What are you doing?
Ooh, well, that's kind of a nice compliment.
Well,
in a way,
it was
he doesn't get it.
He was bewildered by it. I think that was the first time. I think when he was seeing people, I think he probably thought everyone thought like he did. And plus, I was a little weird kid. Anyway, whatever. Let's stop talking about these people.
You once ate cat shit to impress a girl.
I did, and
that's all you need to know.
She had a burned arm. Yeah, she had like
a. Once ate cat shit, which I think can, like, you can get some kind of parasite and actually go crazy.
Yeah.
I think you can actually lose your mind.
But it was a very, in my defense.
To impress a burn.
It was a very dry piece of cat shit. It wasn't fresh cat shit. So I have to think that if you're eating like a petrified piece of cat shit.
It's already lost.
I didn't get it right from the tap. It wasn't like I grabbed her cat and squeezed it.
And it had been rolled in litter.
Oh yeah. No,
it didn't chip a tooth.
No, I did.
Fuck.
And but I will tell you this: I did swallow it because the girl was screaming, and another girl. We were playing. I was trying to get some truth or dare going, and I think I don't either. I was like, look, let's play truth or dare. Look, I'll dare myself. I dare me to eat cat shit. and I was standing right by a litter box, and I reached in and grabbed a little dry turd.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I was like, hey, Arg, now can I see your tits?
Jesus. I got to say, like, my girlfriend is like a behavioral therapist, and I tell her your stories, and she's so fascinated with like, she wants to study you.
Can I show her my ranch?
She's explained a lot of like the sort of nuts and bolts behind some of your behavior, and it's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in my mind, I like to think I'm very cause and effect. In my mind, I remember in my mind, I'm like, all right, listen, if I eat this cat shit, okay, we'd already gotten the retarded guy who lives in the neighborhood to buy us wine coolers. So, the night is
got your Bartles, you're washing on cat shit with Bartles and James.
No, California coolers. I can afford Bartles and James.
Oh, is that a higher bride in real life?
Bartles and James was in bottles. Okay. California cooler was in a big.
Is that a malt beverage?
They're all malted.
They are.
It's all Zima. There's no real wine in a wine cooler.
Well, I figured there wasn't, but I didn't know it was like malt beverage.
All of them are malt. For example, all the girls now are drinking those like White Claws and shit.
Sure.
White Claw is just Zima. That's all it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because number one, it's illegal to put alcohol in a can in America. It has to be a malted beverage. So, okay. Just
got it.
Yeah. And it was like a weird law in New York State is like in New York State, when you go into a liquor store, you can only buy wine and alcohol. You can't buy anything else. You can't buy a fucking corkscrew.
Sure. But no liquor. It's like a lot of places have beer and wine licenses.
No.
Oh, there's something different.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. You can either sell beer, and you can sell beer almost anywhere. That's why they have those growler places and shit everywhere.
The craft beer.
And if you ever go into like a bodega, and they'll have beer. They'll have like a row of dusty bottles of wine,
like cooking wine, right?
Well, yeah, but they'll also have it like they'll present it like it is real wine. That's not really wine,
right?
It's like malted. It's kind of like that. It's not really. I don't even know why you can call it wine, but that's what that is.
Wine product.
A wine byproduct. Exactly. You can drink this, but you will go blind. And enjoy this with a nice dry piece of cat shit.
You won't be able to feel your left half.
Feel the
momentarily.
Going crazy from cat shit. Have a glass of bodega. Have a glass of bodega wine to wash it down with. But in New York State, you can only buy alcohol and wine in a liquor store, but in a bodega, in a blah 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 blah. But they can't sell wine. So, but like in California, you can buy a fucking gallon of Smirnoff at Duane Reade or whatever, at the grocery store. They have, so anyway, it's all the states are different. So anyway, but yeah, like in my mind with that cat shit, it was like, all right, I'll eat the cat shit. And then that will, because I wanted to play Truth or Dare. Because I learned at a very young age that Truth or Dare was a good way to
definitely gateway to 7 minutes in heaven or whatever kind of manner of.
Yeah. So in my mind, I was like, all right, I'll eat the cat shit. And that will set the girls will be like, wow, this Truth or Dare is going to get blown wide
This
open.
guy's, you know what they're going to say to themselves? This guy's crazy. I don't know what he's going to do. And when I'm with him, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I'm going to dare him to finger me.
Yeah. It's kind of like a real
that's what I thought.
Crazy, sexy love.
I'm like, I'll blow the doors off of this just out of the gate.
And to be fair, you did.
Oh yeah. But in
just
the wrong
maybe
way.
In more of an Uncle Bob way.
Yes.
Then like, and
also
I'm
Uncle
hot for you.
Also my Uncle Bob. And by the way, if anyone is listening who actually knows who my Uncle Bob is, I'm not really shitting on him at all, but if you guys,
Uncle Bob just doesn't get you.
He did not, and he's passed. And so
he's passed.
Yes, he's passed. But I'm not really speaking ill of the dead or anything. I'm just saying, like, I had an Uncle Bob. He never liked me. And if any of you are listening and you know who Uncle Bob is, you know that's the case. And it's fine. Although I will say the one thing Uncle Bob did is he drove me to college because I think my mom didn't want anything to do with me. And my stepfather and I think my stepfather would have probably pushed me out of the car, like on the way through Pennsylvania or something. And so Uncle Bob drove me to Ohio. So
interesting. So Uncle Bob has some kind of a conscience.
It was his youngest sister. I think he felt like that was really for him. That was what the Jews call a mitzvah for Uncle Bob. So, okay. But I remember we didn't.
That was like his one. He was like,
we're
good for the rest of this kid's life.
You ever see Sopranos when Phil Leotardo takes the gay? Remember spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The gay guy. Yeah. His son turns into a little fat goth kid. And he's got like the hair, and Phil Leotardo, who has killed his father, has to take
Vince or whatever his name was,
has to take him out to an ice cream place. And he looks across from him and he goes, look at your face. You look like a Puerto Rican whore, because he's wearing like goth makeup and lipstick. Paint. And he's like, finish your milkshake before you get in the car. He goes, it's not a milkshake, it's a flurry. And he's looking at him like he's just disgusted by him.
Christ, no wonder your father married a volunteer fireman.
Yeah. He goes, hasn't your father brought enough shame on your family? Look at you. You look like a Puerto Rican whore.
Oh my God, what's that guy's name now? I gotta look.
The actor just passed away.
That's right.
Yeah, he was great. He was also Billy Batts. He was also in Goodfellas, and he was a guy that they beat to death and put in the trunk when De Niro, Ray Liotta, and Joe Pesci went to his mom's house to get a shovel. And the mom, who was Martin Scorsese's mother, wakes up and she comes down and he borrows a kitchen knife.
Right. So, Vito was his name.
Yes.
And they caught him in the S&M
bar.
They
caught him in the S&M bar.
I'm goofing around.
Yeah, I'm goofing around.
He's like, I'm just goofing. They're collecting. For some reason, they had to go through like the sea of leather daddies to like collect
such a
to get the envelope.
So stupid.
And they're like, he's in this little
he's like dancing. He was what's the guy? I remember he's dancing with a gay guy, and the gay guy says to him, "What's the guy got to do to buy you a drink?" He goes, "Ask me." And he's having a great time. I mean, he's like totally into it. So what's funny about that actor? I remember because name drop alert. When I was working on that show that was produced by Jim Gandolfini.
Jimmy.
When you know him, you call him Jim. And his wife, his wife Danielle. Deborah, maybe I think that's right.
Carmela, I think.
No, the
I'm
real.
kidding.
That would be funny. You son of a. It was Edie Falco. Get over here. Come on. Get over here. Come on.
I like to pretend like I think television shows are real life.
Yeah. You're like, they talk about how did that Fred Flintstone get around with them? I didn't think they had wheels until later on. Listen, Fred Flintstone's not a documentary.
I think animated shows.
You think animated shows are real?
Like Jesus Christ. Yeah. Check this guy's fucking.
What do you think that Jerry would do if he ever got caught by that Tom? Think he'd eat him up in a heartbeat? You think he'd get him because the cat's larger and smarter? What? Okay. Anyway, stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when Jim passed, when he died, that actor who played Vito, right, who big fat guy
or something
who had gotten the lap band surgery. He went on all these talk shows and was like talking about how much he misses Jim and how much they were friends and how much he loved Jim and blah, blah, blah. He was really very obviously using so much so that other people in the Sopranos cast had to come forward and be like, Jim fucking hated that guy.
Like you.
Yeah, he thought that guy
was to you what Uncle Bob was to Brian.
Jim, like, yeah, exactly.
He was not a fan.
That guy was Brian, and that Uncle Bob was James Gandolfini. But so anyway, I just remember one more Uncle Bob thing. So
please,
because it's so ridiculous. So at my my grandmother at his mother's funeral. Now we're at the funeral. This is not the wake, the actual funeral. I remember I was living in California, and I came out. Jocelyn, the girl, this is a while ago. This is like 12, 13 years ago. But before we had moved back to New York. So I was back by myself, and I'm at the funeral. And we're there, and my grandmother is in repose, I guess they call it. Is that right? What they call it when she's in the room, with everything. So my Uncle Bob, who lived way down in Northern Virginia with his second wife, Sandy, who I don't drag her into all this, but so they had driven up from Northern Virginia, wherever they lived, and this particular funeral home, shout out to Rux in Towson, Maryland.
Okay.
It's actually where Divine died.
Wow.
Where Divine had their, John Waters grew up like right where this place was.
That's right. I forget he's from Baltimore.
He's from like Cockeysville, which is right where.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, no, someone's doing well.
Right.
Right. So, anyway, point is, so someone says to me, hey, your Uncle Bob is on his way here. But the way that Rux it was kind of on a hill, and it was kind of tiered, where like there were two entrances. There was like a downstairs and an upstairs. And Uncle Bob had mobility issues. He had a cane, and he wasn't in good health. He didn't take care of himself. And again, I'm not shitting on the guy, but he didn't walk. Right. He had a cane, and he was heavy. And God, I'm never gonna see anybody in my family again. But he was heavy. Sorry, everyone knows he was heavy, and that's what that was. Yeah, he was
probably.
But he had like a cane and stuff, and I don't know why they sent me out. I mean, his mother's dead. I mean, she was like 96 or whatever. Nobody was surprised. But his mother's dead, and they sent out his least favorite nephew. And my job was to go out and instruct him as to which door was closest to where the room was.
Get Bob the
there
most
were like
convenient route.
There were two ways to kind of get into the building.
Sure.
So I came outside, and he pulled up with his wife, and I waved them in, and I waved them in to park, and then I realized when they got and getting out of the car was a production in itself.
Yeah.
And when they got out of the car, I realized that I had gotten them out at the wrong entrance, and we had to like go up. We had to go up the hill and something. And Uncle Bob, I think, had been notified that they're going to send somebody out to tell them the right entrance was. And and so anyway, so that was just kind of a funny thing. I remember him just being like, I hate you.
Seething,
he was
not mobile.
Yeah, he was like Anakin Skywalker at the end of the what was the third one? The Rise of the Sith or whatever. I was like Obi-Wan. He's like, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. So anyway, listen, but to wit, my cousin Sean, Patty, and Rob, you are wonderful. And I love the three of you very much.
Right.
And I don't think I'll ever see Kevin again, which is fine with me. All right. Anyway, but to bring it all back, what I was going to say about Netflix is I am currently watching the Pete Davidson stand-up special, which is actually pretty funny. So for those of you aficionados of the of stand-up comedy, it's on Netflix. If you're on Patreon, I've already given you my password, so you're welcome. That's the benefit of being a Patreon member.
That I think now you have to upgrade to get the multiple screens thing.
Oh, is that how they got the workaround?
I think because I think Netflix is not doing great, and then they took away, like they made it so like you have to pay extra to like give all your kids or patrons in this case.
I can tell you
the password.
They're with Netflix. The tier that I have the top tier because it's like $28 a month.
It's not,
but I mean, it's something. I mean, it's like, but my point is you get like licenses for like four other users.
Okay, yeah, that's what I know this because I had to upgrade mine I was watching it one night and my girlfriend had given the password to her sister's kids.
That sister.
And that's the only.
You're lucky
sister.
she didn't smoke it.
That's the only sister. She probably tried. And I was like, oh fuck. And I wanted to watch something. And I'm like, all right. So I had to do the upgrade thing. I think it was only like $4 extra, but I mean times cajillions of users.
It's something. Well, Amazon now, Amazon Prime, if you know how you used to get Amazon Prime, you would get like all that bullshit for free. Now it's still for free, but it has commercials now.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
I almost never watch anything on
Nobody
Amazon.
does. I mean, you do.
I used to watch Sneaky Pete. That was the only thing. That was the only show I really watched on there.
That's my S&M safe word. Did we do that already?
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete. Pull it out.
Pete.
Pull it out. God damn it. I can feel the ridges on that thing. Pull it out. Sneaky Pete. What is that? A power tool? Sneaky Pete. If you're not going to pull it out when I say Sneaky Pete, what's the point of a safe word?
Right.
Carlos. I'm doing S&M with a gay Hispanic man.
That's who you want to do it with.
Oh yeah, they're tender about it. They're not going to just shove it in.
Passionate.
Give me butterfly kisses on my neck.
Yeah,
you're gonna hate this, but then you're gonna love it. It's gonna go in so hard for you, but at the end you're gonna be kissing me, saying thank you, Carlos.
They're like our buddy Small Hands, tender, but also they'll like fucking mash your face into that.
Yeah.
The ladies love that apparently.
That guy is he's a big dick wonder. I tell you, I didn't really know what he looked like. I mean, like his face necessarily. And we're on I'm on Instagram and I looked at it. He's like a really cute guy. Like he's really a cute. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Cute guy.
He's like 43. He looks incredibly boyish for his age. Anyway, whatever. So I recommend the Pete. The funny thing about the Pete Davidson thing is I'm pretty sure, like I'm about, I don't know, maybe a third through it. And he's just tearing his mother a new asshole on this special, and he's clearly mentally ill, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
To see.
Oh, that kind of almost makes it worth it.
The special is very confessional. It's not like bits,
but you can tell he's like unhinged.
You can tell that the guy, I'll put it this way, he's incredibly, he's pretty
only
manic.
One take.
Yeah. The whole special, he did it himself with his iPhone.
Yes.
Yeah. And
shot portraits.
Yeah. And he's like, shut up. He's like, he's in a closet hiding. Yeah. I fucked Kim Kardashian. Right. So what? What are you better than me? Shut up. What is that? They're coming. They're all coming. They're around me.
A lot of empty screen space.
Laura Michaels is a fucking piece of shit. But it was interesting because, I'm not a huge fan of stand-up comedy, but the stuff that I like tends to be things where, but the guy is like, he literally like puts his life on fire. Like I think he talks about Ariana Grande. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but check out the Pete Davidson.
I bet that part's relatable.
Yeah, he's like, that thing where you're fucking the most visible woman in the world, and her ass is so fine that you end up just eating it all weekend, and then you forget.
Right,
and go to your ranch.
You forget like your meeting or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was when I remember Dane Cook kind of jumped the shark when you'd be talking about being in a limousine with Jessica Alba or something, and you're like, I think you kind of lost your
dude. Have you seen his
frat boys?
Have you seen Dane Cook's face recently?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
He got the work done. And didn't his brother steal all his money or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was some bad management.
Boy, you watch that comedy. You watch him on like from 20 years ago. You watch him on like, I don't know, whatever that would be, Letterman, I guess, or Leno even. Sure. It does not age well. You're like, people actually thought this was funny. You know what I mean? You're like, whoa.
Very physical.
Oh yeah,
acty, like
very. Well, you can tell like he was a theater kid, and they talk about. I mean, there's certain people that talk about that.
I just remember during that era, that was like everybody emulated him. There's always like a few. There was David Tell was one. Everybody kind of like they emulated his cadence.
Yes,
but everybody did Dane Cook, and it was not an easy. Like nobody really pulled it off, but you would see like.
Yeah,
guys at open mics being like, "Yeah, you like that? You do." you do, and like doing his like shtick, and it was horrendous.
I never really did any stand up necessarily. I'm more of a humorist. Sorry for that. But I would, I had a Mitch Hedberg face, but that just means I did heroin.
That was another one that everybody did the Mitch Hedberg, and they tried to write jokes.
I just did heroin for 7 years. So that was my Mitch Hedberg.
Winnebago.
I never really I got Mitch Hedberg. The guy that I don't really get is the guy from Boston. They're really deadpan.
Stephen Wright.
Yeah, Stephen Wright.
He was another joke guy.
Yes. Which again, I get
quick.
But for me, it's you're watching a character, and it takes me out of it.
But he was clever though, so it would be kind of like
it's like wordplay.
Same with Mitch Hedberg. It was like there were really good jokes, but then there was also a character attached to it, so it's kind of I don't know.
I get it, and it does work. It's just it wouldn't be my like go-to. And also one of the very few times that I did stand-up comedy when Eddie Ifft got me on that Tom Arnold show. Eddie's great. Eddie's always put me over, but I got on that Tom Arnold. Tom Arnold did like a weekly stand-up show at Laugh Factory in LA,
kind of like MC.
So,
Tom Arnold and Friends kind of
hosted it.
Situation.
Tom Arnold and the young comedian. Tom Arnold and his young comedians. So so I got up and told the old chestnut story about when I banged a tranny and who cares? But anyway, but I remember Stephen Wright actually did the show. So he was on the same bill, and I watched Stephen Wright like in the back of the room because it was Stephen Wright, and it was like, why did the chicken cross the road? Because to get to it was like meta Stephen Wright. You know what I mean? It was like the joke. He was like the jokes. Even the delivery was the regular delivery, but the jokes were bad on purpose. Almost. It was
like Stephen Wright after he was already tired of his act.
Yeah, it was like watching somebody do a bad Stephen Wright. So I was kind of watching that. And then the other guy was that I watched was, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blowing this right now. It doesn't matter, but Dom Herrera.
Oh, okay, he's very funny.
He was very funny, and he's completely he's one of those guys.
Another old school guy.
Yeah, this guy. I think he's like 90 or something. He was like.
I think he's still like out there too.
What else is he gonna do? What are you gonna do? Male modeling? Transition into male modeling? I mean, listen, what are you gonna do? I mean, I do that annual show with Robert Klein, very nice guy, and he does the Laugh Recite thing for Brian Fischler.
That is one of those jobs that kind of the older and crazier you get, you almost get better.
Well, if you don't get Alzheimer's,
right?
I mean, yeah, and also like your audience will age with you. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
My point is like it almost. I think like with baby boomers, I think the reason why like they still go see Billy Joel or whomever is because they're like, wow, they're my age, or in some cases, a little older even, and they're still doing it. It kind of makes them feel relevant.
Okay.
So if you go see comedy, if you go see somebody, you're like, hey, and because if you're sitting there and you're watching, fucking Mark Norman and you're 70, like it may be funny, but you're kind of like it's not really for you. Like comedy is generational.
Tussle his hair and give him a hard candy.
Yeah, exactly. Probably. Yeah. You're like, are you done cutting my lawn?
Yes.
Should you be telling jokes already? My lawn. I feel like he didn't edge.
Right.
He's doing his comedy. So what I mean is like when you watch stand-up comedy, I think it's very helpful to watch it, the age of the person, Like I think if an older comic is doing comedy, if they're really funny, younger people can like it. I think if a younger person is doing comedy, I don't think older people will like it as much. Although I did take my father-in-law, my wife and I took my father-in-law to see Louis C.K.
Okay.
That was that was already over 10 years ago. Yeah, it was over 10 years ago. But and that was a really funny show because he had just gotten divorced. Not my father-in-law. Louis C.K. just gotten divorced. And it was like this.
Oh, wow. So that was
13 years ago. Okay. Yeah, probably maybe 12 years ago, something like that. Yeah. And the show was cartoonishly, like I'm a big Louis C.K. fan. In my book, he's the best, and but it was a really, really dark special and filthy. It was just filthy and dark. And it was like, and I remember like I was sitting there, my father-in-law was sitting next to me and his daughter was sitting on the other side. And like, and he was a good sport, and he laughed a lot, but afterwards he was like, wow, that guy was really dirty. Cause I I played him like Chewed Up. I owned some of the stuff on my iPod. That's how long ago it was. And I played him some of the stuff, and he was like, "Oh, this guy's really funny," because he is really funny. But then when we got there live, in live, he's like, "You ever, it's like, you ever rape your daughter?" You're like, "Oh, Jesus, hi, that's your." I know. Right. Hey, hi.
Yeah, he does push it.
Yeah, a little bit, which again is great, but I don't know. Even like with my 17-year-old, I don't like watching shows where people get topless or something. You know what I mean? It just I don't know. Just makes me.
I feel like it more is like just the fact that it's happening is embarrassing for both parties.
Yes, exactly.
It's just uncomfortable because you're going, I don't want to watch this with my daughter in the room, and then she's going, I don't want to watch this with you in the room. You both might actually like it separately.
Oh yeah, very much so. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll just pause it and I'll walk over and I'll turn the lights down and I'll go sit next to her and I'll go, "You want to talk about that? You want to talk about what we're watching? You want to talk about the breasts? Want to talk about the breasts with your daddy?
With the boobies with your daddy?
With the nips, the areolas, the mounds of fat. They're just fat, honey. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Right? Yeah, just gland. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez Louise. Should we go through?
Yeah, let's go say hi to everybody.
Because there's comments.
Anybody,
and things. Hi to Ted. Ted always the first guy.
Ted's the best. Hi, Ted.
In line. Hi to Decline. He says, "Daddy knows best."
Oh yeah, and that great shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's talking about your shirt.
I wear that's my gym shirt.
Chris is at the locker room from Porky's. Nope, just Google image search.
Yeah. And by the way, just to double back to the shirt, I bought this shirt because I Googled gay workout clothes.
Yeah.
And Daddy Knows Best came up, and then I Googled HIV positive workout clothes. And there's one that says like
a specific genre. Of
it says POZ-atively fit. Yeah. So like positively fit, and it said it on the front, and it was a tank top, and on the back it had the pink triangle. I almost bought it, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I was like, no.
I feel like that's the next step for you.
I just think it would. I don't know. This is before I got kicked out of Equinox. This is when I was going to Equinox. This church's pretty old, and I thought this is when I was like, oh, maybe Liz has a point, but I thought to myself, they can't kick me out if it doesn't have like a dick on it or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the shirt just says positively fit.
And like, I get at first I wasn't sure why that would need to be a thing, but now it's like because so much stuff goes on in the steam rooms, it's probably good to kind of get that out of the way. Almost.
I think what you're saying is
unless I'm reading into it too much.
Well, I think what you're doing is you're it's kind of like the girl Cassie from last week. Like you're getting in front of it. You're saying,
sure,
listen, I'm HIV positive and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm so not ashamed.
I'm wearing it on my shirt.
I'm wearing this shirt.
My tank top.
Yeah. And by the way, can I have a bite of your Texas waffle?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
And definitely wipe the machine down.
Yeah, if you don't, right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And this is my own bathroom they make me use.
Yes.
That's the one that I'm allowed to use.
Go ahead and double back with that wet towelette.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi to Chairman Meow. Stop being so handsome. Googly eyes. I'm googly eyes, by the way.
Are you really?
That's what Stuttering John calls me. Googly eyes when he's mad at me.
I hate that guy.
He and I have had several falling outs.
Are you serious?
And I've only known him for a few months.
Like real falling outs?
Not real ones.
Oh, okay.
But where he gets mad, I don't respond, and then he forgets about it.
He has big timed me a couple of times.
Is that right?
Yeah, I do. I am not a fan.
I think he's a funny guy.
I guess
he's kind of hard to get along with because it's just me working with Kevin. He's mad at Kevin, and then so I catch some shrapnel. Yeah. But if you're on the screen with him and Kevin's talking shit about you, you just
I wonder how
even
that guy
if you're not
makes,
agreeing.
I wonder if that guy makes a living because I know he left Howard to go work for Jay Leno, which apparently was a big paycheck, but then he got fired from that.
He was on the Tonight Show, I know.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was a while ago at this point. Like, do people pay to watch him do comedy? I don't think so.
I am not sure. He does a streaming thing.
By the way, Steve Grillo wants to come on the show. Do you know that?
Okay, sure. We had him on. It's been years. It was when you were in Brooklyn.
Steve has requested to do this show.
Let's have Steve on.
Absolutely. He lives not too far from here.
Anyway, all right. Blah, blah, blah. See, hi to Decline, hi to Chairman. Ted says those pesky Germans a tad misunderstood.
Listen, never start a land war in Russia.
Bill says, hey guys.
Hey Bill. Hi Bill. Hey Bill. Hi Bill. Waterloo.
Let's see. Decline says Stut Joe started calling Adam Thin Skinnaker.
Oh,
better than googly eyes or butt boy. He called me that one time,
see,
but then he rescinded because he was like, "Oh, wait, I think that's like homophobic." Whatever.
oh,
But I mean, it couldn't be further from that because when he says not butt boy, but thin Skinnaker, because like I'm the guy that if he talks shit about me, I go, "Yeah, you're entitled to that."
Well, I think Stuttering John
what you
would
want.
probably interpret that as being thin-skinned. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's
me
like
going, "You're entitled."
I don't think
to
he
your
knows
opinion?
what thin-skinned means. I think
Maybe not,
in his mind,
because-
it's like thin-skinned means, wow, like you don't even know I'm making fun of you, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe he thinks I'm oblivious. I'll say this in front of God and everybody and Brian and Uncle Bob. You can say whatever you want. You are entitled. It's your show.
I'm with you.
And I did not. He texted me once and said, "I wrote a song about you."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh, boy.
okay.
Oh, boy.
It was like, making fun of me. And I'm like,
okay,
I'm sure you did.
Can I just say right now, I hate when you talk about other shows. I just hate it.
Well, this isn't a show I'm on. It's just he's talking about
You make me feel cheap. And you make this feel like a paycheck.
Right.
Okay.
Well, you're the only one that I do kissing with that I don't charge extra.
Day late, dollar short. Hold on really quickly.
Yep.
I want to just
go ahead.
I've been getting a lot of listen with the whole thing doing MLC and Adam's here. I will do MLC. Someone's got to ask me to do it. So people keep going, and people, 7 people keep say, "Hey, when are you going to go on MLC?" I don't know. They have to ask me to do it.
How about Tuesday? You free?
Sure.
Okay. Well, tentatively say I'll tell Kevin.
Yeah, it's got to be later in the
time?
afternoon.
Well, the show's at 4:00 every day.
Okay,
so
fine,
it's
4
not.
o'clock.
There's no like time.
And I just look. And if you don't want me to do the show, I won't do it. But I will.
Worst
do it
case scenario, I got to test out the like phone line.
Sure.
There, I'll just call you and. You could even call in, but well, just to test it, just to say hi, and you can go, "Hey, I'm not afraid to do the show."
I'm not afraid to do the show.
And then we'll set up firm up a date. But I can say, usually Tuesday probably could potentially.
For some reason,
I set up your phone, the permissions on, so you can quickly just jump on StreamYard.
Oh, StreamYard.
We did that a couple of weeks ago because you got a new phone, and
all right,
you're
we can work it out.
Set.
So, but I'm again just to go back to it, I'm not doing the show. The logistics of it. And when you have guests like Stuttering John, I mean, why would you want to go to a loser like me?
He doesn't really ever come on. It's just Kevin talks about it.
Right. Well, I was kind of shitting on myself on purpose, but that's
right. Listen, you're good enough. You're
like
smart
next
enough.
week we got Jeffrey Gurian's coming on. I'm gonna bump you.
Bill says, Brian, for the sake of your many Australian and Indian viewers,
hey buddy,
please wish them all a happy National Day for both. Can I tell you to do both? Excuse to do both accents. He says, "LOL."
Oh God, I can't. I mean, now it is. But I will tell you one thing. I happen to watch. Have you guys heard of TikTok? I just found out about it. It's great.
It's a Chinese platform.
Brian,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Brian M. Show on TikTok. But of all of the ethnicities in America, the number one per capita highest earning ethnicity are Indians.
Okay.
Yeah. The number 10, African American, white, number 6.
And this is highest earning just amongst
like per capita. Like these numbers are. I just watched this like an hour ago. Like African American, it's like 48 grand a year. White people, it's like 65 grand a year.
Okay.
And then on top of white, it starts getting like Chinese, Taiwanese, I don't know, something else, Vulcan, and then
Indians at the very
they're
top.
like 108.
Average.
I was in my new Mercedes Benz. It was having many cup holders.
Are they factoring in?
I'm doing the accent for the guy.
Yeah, no, I listen.
The car has 14 cup holders. I don't even have that many cups.
Right.
I have to go to the.
That's a lot of chai.
I go to Tiffany store and buy many bejeweled cups for my cup holders. Hello? Or sell bejeweled Mercedes cups to Packies. Hello? Yeah, hello.
Now Jack Nicholson on a roller coaster.
Hey, Merchant Cast. I'm Merchant Cast and I'm Indian. All work and no play makes me a curry in a hurry.
Wow.
You can't handle the naan.
Right.
There you go.
Yes.
You're welcome, everybody.
Bread.
It's the bread.
Pretty good.
Thank you very much.
pretty good. Okay, let's see.
I like those scammer videos too. You ever watch those?
Oh, I love the
Me
scammer
too.
videos.
Yeah, because the guys, because
the vigilante guys that like get the scammers.
He's like, "Are you on Chutney Street?" And the guy goes, "You motherfucker! I fuck your 10-minute, and you take the 10-minute to your cock."
You ever see the thing where they reverse the camera? They like engage their camera and then they steal all the files.
Yes.
That shit is fucking great.
I love it.
Love this camera.
And I'll watch them on TikTok and they go part 1, part 2. I just figured out how to get to part 2. I'm like 100 years old. Because I'll watch part 1 and I'm like, now what? But you got to swipe up.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Josh Jack says, hi, daddies.
Hey, Joshy. What's up, Steve?
Tanktastic says, this has to be the highlight of Adam's week. Other show is on Zoom. LOL. LOL.
No Zoom shows.
I mean,
here.
not only is that show on Zoom, I work on some shows that like I don't even
a cup with a string.
I mean, it's like I just email with the people and I just do the production work. So I mean, this is this is very personal.
If you have a Porsche, you take it out of the garage, baby. You drive it around. You know, you show the neighbors, take the top down. Tanktastic got on one of our little comedy clip shorts. His name was on.
Oh,
it.
Sure. Yeah.
The Zoom one, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, the clip that. And then, by the way, next, Nick, our clip guy, says hi.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Nick the Nene.
Nick is going to do 2 clips for the Cassie show.
Whoa.
Where I was accused of sexually assaulting her. Well, not really accused of it, and I wasn't really. But I just kind of
in the photo because people had said that.
Yeah, I dry humped her leg a little bit.
Sure.
But, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think
we gotta get written consent for that next time.
We should just entrance to the. We should put a sign at the door to the apartment, like entrance.
Right, like when if you're gonna go be an extra on a reality show.
Exactly.
Sure. Ted says yes. Cows lay down.
Oh, they do.
He seems almost impatient.
Hey, Ted,
we didn't know that.
You sound utterly ridiculous. Go ahead.
Fuck yeah. Move over.
I got a big stake in that joke.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for that, everybody.
He also says, who's Dwayne Reed, the guard for the Knicks?
No, Dwayne Reed is what we have in America. You would call it a chemist, perhaps?
Probably, a little corner store.
Yeah, it's like a pharmacy where I guess in England you would buy various potions and and pipe tobacco.
Yeah, you could probably buy the original cocaine there, or the original Coca-Cola.
Merck is the name of the company that
they made it fun. Interesting fact: they used Mexican cocaine back then.
Really?
Not regular. No, that's just people say Mexican.
Is that true?
They use cane sugar.
Huh?
To just never.
Oh, I thought maybe I don't know because
bad joke.
Original crystal meth was called Prevatin.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it was invented.
Multivitamin.
It was invented by the Japanese army, and when the Japanese army and the Germans got the recipe for it, and they would sell it in like little tubes.
Sure.
You can buy original tubes of Prevatin on eBay. They're like $50.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I read a book all about like drug use in the Third Reich, and basically the blitzkrieg of the World War II, which was primarily in the West when they took France and Belgium and all that shit. All those guys were all whacked out on crystal meth.
Right.
It was actually in their like mess kit. They would get like I don't know, sausages and I
remember they shot up Hitler with a multivitamin.
Yes.
And there's a whole I learned about that on the History Channel.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Hitler had like a private doctor that everyone else was like, it's just his drug doctor.
Yes.
Hitler would be like, I'm so tired. May I have my shot, please?
Right. Dr. Spergenberg says Uncle Bob sounds like a real curmudgeon.
He was a curmudgeon.
Am I right?
He was a real curmudgeon. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody who would deny that. I mean, listen, I'm sure he loved his children.
Yep.
It's not his nephew.
Josh Jack says MLC is dead. Brian P, the one that got away, but he's not. He's coming back.
I guess. I mean, I am. I'm not.
Back.
You know what I mean?
I have to. Are you normally free around 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, right.
Just text me. I mean, what am I doing?
We'll do it. Yeah, you might just get a random link from me.
I may have big showbiz news, but it's not anything happening yet. So I'm
right.
All of a sudden things are
you're hosting New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Yeah, they're finally
next year.
It's me and Stuttering John.
Right.
Are hosting New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Right.
Special guest Kip Winger.
Right.
All the hits from the late 80s. I did like when Stuttering John worked for Howard and he did the questions. That was when he was great.
Yeah. No, he was good. Yeah. He was good. Hey, listen, Stuttering John and I are on
why don't you marry him?
We're on good terms, like 98% of the time.
I mean, it's all fucking. It's all wrestling
it's
anyway.
2%. Yeah, and I don't think it's even real.
Exactly.
Chris Mack says the herpes rights activist from last week was fascinating.
Wasn't she?
I thought it was fascinating too.
I know. I want to join her OnlyFans. I don't like asking people for free OnlyFans. I think it's tacky.
Sure.
It's like going to someone's restaurant and being like, "Can I have a bite of your herpes?"
Right. Right. Unless they're, ooh, what's that? Herpes?
What do I smell? That smells so good. Can I have some of that herpes? Please?
Yeah.
Right out of the oven.
Side of chlamydia.
Uh-huh.
Hi to Adam's soundboard.
Hi,
Citizen Macabre says, "Hey, Hinneka." I think that's another stutter.
Adam, you really have a boy. Why don't you call this the Adam Hineker show,
right?
With Brian?
Yeah, starring Brian McCarthy.
Don't read the ones about you.
Yeah, I might stop.
Bullshit.
I'm starting to get embarrassed.
Why don't you and your boyfriend Stuttering John go into Catamaran or something? By the way, everybody in here better be on the Patreon. It's all I'm gonna. Hopefully you are. I mean, I would imagine
Patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
Yes, because we're gonna jump over there in a minute.
I'm looking for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hi to be.
I was putting links. Hi, Chris. Hello, Chris again.
He says methamphetamine is available as a prescription. It's called Desoxyn.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. You ever done you've done crystal meth, right?
No, never done. Closest I did was take Dexedrine, I think, which is like kind of a
that's like
prescription speed.
Yeah.
No, I never done any thing like that. Just cocaine and opioids.
I did crystal meth with Brandon, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Up for 2 days.
That's who you want to do it with.
That's the one. He's a chatty Cathy. Anyway, R.I.P. Brandon.
Chris says the stuff they gave the Human Truth was called
Pervitin, right? Aren't I right? Well, I'm talking about the name of the drug is. I'm talking about the actual name of the actual drug. Like
I wonder if he's making a joke. He might be making a joke.
Oh, is he really?
I don't know.
Kill him, Juzin.
Right.
It's called Kill him, Juzin.
Yes.
Right. Exactly. Day 95.
March him ovens. March
him in ovensin.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Exactly. Get on the trains, Adrin.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
All right. That's it. That's everybody.
I like when people talk about the Holocaust and the people that are kind of anti-Semitic, and they go, they also killed a lot of gypsies. You're like, yeah, I guess, but
they kept that pretty under wraps.
Yeah, though. That's not really what you lead with. I think
that's not on the marquee.
Yeah, I think they were rounding up Jews in what are they called in not ghettos but shtetls they were called, and they would round them up. And if there were gypsies around, they'd just be like, "Are you guys too? Come on,
yeah, okay,
stop telling everyone's fortune." And get in the, go with them. But I think I think we can all, no matter how much of an anti-Semite you are or denier or whatever it is, we can all agree that Nazis were anti-Semitic. Let's just, there you go. We can let's all start with that. Get on top of that one.
Right. Any other plugs?
No, not really. Other than the ones in my hair. By the way,
that you got in Turkey.
Yeah, that's a big thing now. I watched that that Dr. Gary, somebody. He's this bald guy with alopecia. He's a New York City hair transplant guy, and he does videos where he'll take celebrities and go through all the work they've had done.
Wow.
Yeah, he gets in there too. The graphs and everything. Joe Rogan is fascinated by his own hair too. I never watched that show, but I happen to the 2 or 3 times.
His hair?
Well, he has a giant scar in the back of his head because he tried to get a transplant.
Because he gave up. He's just bald, right?
Yeah. And there's 2 FST or FTC or something. There are 2 ways that they do it. They either take a really long strip in the back of your head, because nobody really ever loses the hair back there. So that hair is always thick. And they take that thick hair and they put grafts, little individual pieces there, and they go pop, 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 pop. And they do that. And that is the more traditional way to do it. And the newer way to do it is, and again, I'm sort of, this is none of this, I'm not a doctor, but they go around in your head. That way you don't have one big scar. So there's the newer way to do it is to kind of go make micro nano incisions and pull the grafts out that way. And that way you don't have any scar in the back of your head. And that's what they do. So they pull it from the back and they put it up front. So that's why if you ever see people like David Lee Roth shaved his head, and if you look at David Lee Roth from behind, he has that giant scar, because up until a couple of years ago, they had to do a fucking 3-inch scar in the back of your head to pull that hair out. Even now the scar is a lot smaller. I wanted to get my tits done, but now that I want a nice D cup, no, I wanted to get a breast reduction.
What's that called?
It's called gynoplasty.
Sure.
Gynoplasty. something like that. But now I've lost all this weight, so I'm
do you not need it anymore?
Now I'm just flabby. Now I'm
because that's usually what guys do. They when they lose the weight, that's the last little thing sometimes.
Right. Well, what happened was before I got my LHON, which is the eye thing that I have, before I got diagnosed with that, they put me on a month of steroids. Okay. And it wasn't like steroids, like a pill. This Jamaican guy came to my house once a week, and
doctor.
Yeah, this guy was some fucking maniac. And he would bring me, it looked like a giant grapefruit, and it was full of either Pulmicort or Prednisone. It was the steroid name of it.
Holy shit.
And it looked like a big grapefruit, and I would have to hold it like this, and there was a port that was always in my arm. So I would take the thing, I would unscrew the top of it, I would pop in the business end into the liquid, the steroid, the liquid here, and then I would take it myself and I would put it in there, and then I would like have to hold it up so that the thing would go,
gravity,
and I'd watch all the steroid go into my arm. And isn't that crazy? And the idea was that steroid would reduce the swelling of my optic nerve, because they thought I just had MS. Or just had MS. They thought I had something called optical neuritis. So anyway, the point is that I'm convinced that doing steroids for a month, like as many as I was doing, I put gallons of fucking steroids, and I'm convinced it gave me like bitch tits. Okay. Yeah. And
interesting.
I try to get insurance to pull them out, but insurance won't do it.
They won't cover it.
No.
Well, I told you that
there's a guy that'll do it if I eat it.
If you
yeah, there's a guy in Long Island. He'll do it for free, but
and you know the funny thing about that guy is he's like this like goofy Jewish guy, and he just loves to kibitz, right?
Yeah, sure.
So he doesn't put you under. He does it while you're awake because he likes to crack jokes and shit.
There's way too many fucking stipulations with this. Like
fucking wild.
He's like, number one, you can't swallow it. You got to chew it.
Yeah.
Come on, chew it like a piece of brisket. Go ahead. It's Passover. Weird. Go ahead. Chew it up. You imagine you're like awake while the guy's sucking your tit fat out. So a rabbi and a priest walk into a bar. You're like, I don't want to hear your bits. Right. So what's Jim Jeffries really like? I hear his wife was the blah, blah, blah. By the way, all right, we should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Save it for
thank you very much. We're going to the Patreon. We appreciate all of your support. Get on that Patreon, please. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
Yeah, that's how it goes.